right. Good morning. Welcome into another Baseball and Coffee. Speaking of which, probably get my BNC hat going here in the morning. It is raining and couldn't be more different than last week right now where it was scorching hot out here in New York, but it is raining and kind of whatever right now. Hope everybody's good. Yep, very wet morning. Yep. But especially to Michael Harris II's mighty England. So this was awesome. Great win last night for England at the Azteca versus Mexico. Confession to make, I was excited for this game the entire week, and then I fell asleep probably in like the 40th minute. So I missed all the fun stuff for the most part. It was a bummer. Hopefully the U.S. game starts on time tonight so I can make it through the whole thing. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So excited to watch the USA game tonight versus Belgium. Have mixed feelings on the red card situation with Balogun. I feel like if you're going to just revoke it, that's one thing. Say this wasn't a red card, we're taking it away. But to suspend it a year feels awfully corrupt. So I don't love that, even though it favors the U.S. team. But either way, excited to watch the game tonight. Hopefully I don't fall asleep. Hope everybody's doing good today here on this, again, wet morning out here in New York. All right, so we're going to try to catch up on some weekend happenings around baseball. Obviously, we have the draft coming up in a few days. I need to put out my top 30 picks in order. Not like who I think is going to get picked by who and why, but just like top 30 prospects for the draft. Because I think for the most part, teams should draft best available player. Obviously, some different things can happen, but we'll talk about that. Probably not today, but later this week. I do have another ESPN game this week on Wednesday. I will be in Cincinnati for Phillies Reds, so that'll be exciting. So we need that to go well. That should be fun. Yesterday I had Twins Yankees. That was fun. Not fun for Yankees. I see there's a comment in here about that. Yankees look really lifeless right now at the moment, especially offensively. A lot of empty at-bats. Now, Joe Ryan did pitch great. We could even watch that on the stream if there's a desire to. But, yeah, they just look pretty bad right now, and they need to snap out of it. Bad news for the Yankees is they're going into Tampa. So that's not exactly a fun place to be. Haaland has touched the ball only 22 times the entire World Cup, and he has 7 goals. I mean, he's clinical. What can I say? Guy's a beast. He's the coolest player ever. I watch his YouTubes, even if they're about nothing, I'll watch them. Very cool. Oh, so you stayed up super late to watch that game. Definitely made up for the poor Jays performance. Jays haven't scored a run in 24 innings. We stink. A lot of teams feeling that way right now. So, just a reminder, it's a long season. I know it's been bad, and there's a lot of teams that do feel like they're getting to the point where it's okay to say that they stink, but still a long season. Cody Clemens on fire. Royce Lewis swung the bat really well yesterday. Twins offense, most home runs in the American League, I believe, over the last month or so. I don't think they have enough pitching, particularly in their bullpen, but their offense is interesting. We'll see what they do at the deadline. Good opportunity for Tampa Bay to get some room between them and the Yankees. That's true. And I think they will. I have a feeling they're going to end up winning this series this weekend. Now, I could be wrong, but that's my guess. All right, first sip of my very hot coffee today. All right, let's go do some standings. Let's get ourselves back up to speed with everything. We don't need that right now. We'll do that later. All right, Monday, July 6th. Standings coming up right now. Tampa Bay, 8-2 in their last 10, 4 games up on the Yankees, who lost the last 2. And really, losing 2 out of 3 to the Twins is something that just doesn't happen to the Yankees. Hadn't lost a series to the Twins since 2014. Think about that for a minute. That's a long time, including lots of postseason action. But the Twins flipped the script on that. Yankees did win the debut. I mean, the first game when Cole pitched, but they lose the last 2. So they drop. They're 4 games back with a 4-game set coming up here against Tampa. We'll see. I feel like Tampa's going to put it to them, but I don't know. Blue Jays 42-48, 3-7 in their last 10. I thought they were clawing back in, but that's not a good record right there. And really, everybody in here is a bad record. Now the Red Sox are 8-2 in their last 10. They're only 2 games behind the Blue Jays. They could be in 3rd place by the end of this weekend. Who knows? But they have a positive run differential. Maybe of all the teams left in the East, we should take the Red Sox the most seriously. I'm not sure. I'm not sure really what to make of these bottom 3 AL East teams that we all thought were going to be good, and they all kind of aren't good. So it's tough. Trevor Larnach is having a great year. Yes, he didn't play yesterday, which kind of bothered me versus Weathers, but he's been probably their best hitter. Clemens has been good. Obviously, Buxton, she's probably their best hitter, but Larnach's been really good as well. All right, AL Central. White Sox, 1 game up on the Guardians at 47-42. They've won 2 in a row. Everything's checking out for the White Sox except for probably the overall depth of pitching. You got to wonder if they would go for it this year. Are they a Skubal possibility? I mean, not that I would think that the Guardians would, that the Tigers would want to trade Skubal in division. But I don't know. I think about that a little bit. What can the White Sox do to help their chances now but not punt on their future? Guardians are 1 back. Twins, who I just talked about, are only 4 back. And, it's funny, like, everybody has them selling. I don't necessarily disagree given how weak their pitching staff is, but they're playing pretty good. Their offense is pretty good. Tigers 40-50, they're 7.5 back, and the Royals are way in the basement. AL West, Mariners, still waiting for them to take control. They have won their last 2, 47-44, game and a half up on the Rangers, 2.5 up on the Astros, 5.5 up on the A's. Angels are long gone. They've lost 6 in a row. Red Sox been putting it to them. Mariners are playing at Miami now, so I don't know. Hard place to play right now. NL East, Braves, they lose again. They're 52-36. Mets almost blew the game to them yesterday, but did not. Stop short by 1 run of doing that. So the Braves win that series, although they have another game today. This is a wraparound versus the Mets. They could still be a split. But either way, Braves are 3 up on the Phillies, who I'll be watching on Wednesday in Cincy. They go Kansas City, Cincy, it looks like. They're 3 back. Miami, who has a better run differential than the Phillies, are only 4.5 back. Miami's a good team. They just are. Nationals, also, we know what they can do offensively. And then there's the Mets. All right, NL Central. Brewers, 55-33, 6 games up on the Cubs. Brewers really have control of that division, it feels like right now. Cardinals, who just played a pretty fun series against the Cubs, 47-40. Pittsburgh's game over 500, and the Reds are 7 under 500. I think the Reds are kind of toast. I think you could put a fork in them a little bit. NL West, Dodgers, 14-game lead now in the division, 7-3 in their last 10, about to get to 60 wins. They'll be the first team to 60 pretty easily, and a bunch of nonsense after that. Since we are now technically in the second half of the season, it's worth checking out the wild card real quick. If it ended today, it would be Yankees, Guardians, and Rangers as the 3 wild cards. Astros, Twins are really close, but you see, it's tight. You could be the Tigers, 40-50, and you're only 5 back. That's wild. In the National League, it would be Cubs, Phillies, and Cardinals. Actually, they're tied with the Marlins, so that would have to be decided somehow. And then Pirates, Nationals, Diamondbacks. There's a little more separation here, but still, you could be below 500 and in it. Pretty crazy. All right, as for our coffee cups situation, we're going to have to look at multiple days here, I guess. So we'll start with, we'll backtrack all the way to Friday since I haven't had a show since Friday morning. Friday's coffee cup winners, Jake McCarthy, Kyle Stowers, and Dalen Lille, or Lyle, however you say that one, I keep forgetting. They all had 2 homer days. There was 5 2-homer days that day. Garcia, Olsen. Pitchers of the day, Dylan Cease. That was the one good thing that happened recently for the Jays. 7 innings, 9 Ks. No runs against the Mariners. Jake Bennett continues to be good, and Ryan Feltner. As for Saturday, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He's somebody that I probably want to watch today, honestly. He pitched great against the Padres. He's the 3 coffee cup winner. Logan Gilbert, Sandy Alcantara. As for the batters, Jordan, 2-homer day against Tampa. Josh Bell, 2-homer day. That was against the Yankees. And Randy Rosarena, 3 for 4, 4 RBIs. And then for yesterday, offensively, Jonah Heim, 1 for 4, 6 RBIs, though. No, 2 for 4 with a home run, 6 RBIs. He wins the coffee cups. Heriberto Hernandez, 3 for 4, 2 homers. Riley Greene, 3 for 4 with a homer. Devers had 2 homers yesterday. Any 4-hit days? Drew Gilbert had a 4-hit day. Pitchers yesterday, Joe Ryan, mentioned him, watched his games. He was really good. 7 innings, 9 Ks, no runs. Eury Perez, should probably watch that. He was on the way to the perfect game. Kind of crazy you have a perfect game, you don't get 3 coffee cups. Emerson Hancock also pitched quite well. As for the WPAs yesterday, Peter Lambert, Emerson Hancock, Sean Newcomb from the batter's box. Kyle Karros, who had the big hit yesterday. Jordan Walker, Riley Greene. Any prospect action from yesterday? Edward Florentino, 2 for 5, 2 home runs for Greenville. Luis Lara, home run. A.J. Ewing, that's at the big league level. Mike Sirota, 1 for 6. Is the streak still alive? I wonder. On the mound. Savage was on the mound yesterday. Here's Cam Caminiti, who I do think could be a Detroit Tiger pretty soon. If Skubal ends up going that way, we'll see. He pitched 6 shutout innings in high A for the Braves system, and then Tyler Bremner got absolutely rocked in high A. Gage Jump actually had his first really poor outing in the big leagues yesterday, getting rocked by Miami as well. So let me hop into the chat here, and we'll get off and watch some of these pitchers. See what we got going on here. Cease did have a great outing the other day. Other than that, it's been rough for us. Yeah, it has been. How close are some of the White Sox young pitchers to being MLB ready? Could that be possible this year? So that's a good question about the White Sox young pitchers. They have a couple that are pretty close, but I don't think you're going to get the impact that maybe you would hope. There's no Paul Skeens is waiting in the wings. You know, there is Hagen Smith. He's interesting. He's got a little bit of a walk issue right now. We actually watched him on the stream. Him and Noah Schultz are kind of similar, like big lefties with kind of like a interesting low slot, a lot of velo. But they're both not like polished yet. So I don't think you might see some impact from a guy like this. But I mean, he's 0-5 with a 4.6 in AAA. It's not like he's tearing the league apart down there. He's got 36 walks and 52 innings. So he might be a factor, but I would imagine he'd be more effective out of in a smaller role than a starting pitcher. Hagen Smith also in here. Tanner McDougal, he's in high A. That's not happening. Christian Opor, he's in rookie ball. That's not happening. Mason Adams is a AAA arm, so this guy could potentially get the call to the show this year. He is the number 10 prospect for the White Sox on the season right now between, let's see, high A and AAA. Kind of a weird route this year. Maybe he was hurt at the beginning, and he hasn't pitched a ton. He's rocking a 3.74. So maybe this guy gets on the radar this year. He's a control pitcher, 60 grade control, and he's got a good curveball. So we'll see. Maybe Mason Adams can be a dude. Blake Larson, David Sandlin, we know about him. We actually saw him pitch already this year. So, no, not a whole lot coming for the White Sox that's extremely highly rated or exciting, to answer your question from earlier. 16 games under 500. Let's fucking go Mets, yeah. If Miami stays good, any chance they keep their core long-term this time? Hard to say when looking at the Marlins. Not really sure what I think about them yet in terms of what they're going to do with their pieces. At some point, you got to go. I don't think they're ready to go yet, but they have a good team. So I think they'll just hold on and they'll make deals if they make sense still, and they'll kind of play both sides of that. It would be my guess. A lot of stuff in the chat here about Kyle Karros. He's had a nice couple last few weeks. Son of Eric Karros. Good morning to everybody in the grounds crew. Okay, here it is. Sirota led off the inning with a solo home run, extending his incredible on-base streak to 68 games. That's amazing. Was Gilbert working on a no-hitter? I wasn't aware of that, but we'll see. Luis Castillo coming soon to the White Sox watch. Yeah, we'll see. We'll find out. All right, well, I think we should start with the man who almost threw the perfect game yesterday, got pulled after 7 innings. I know it was his 3rd start back off of the IL. But, I mean, I would have let him go. I mean, me personally, maybe I'm Call me old school, call me what you want, but you got a chance to get 6 more outs for a perfect game. Perfect games are pretty rare, man. They don't happen very often. Most of the times they don't happen in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years, in 4 years, in 5 years. So you got a shot. You're 6 outs away. I say go for it. I mean, I get it. Coming off injury, this guy is a big piece for your future. I get value. I get all those things. Still would have went with it, and I would have just skipped his start the next time. So anyway, here is the phenom Eury Perez. He's 23 years old. This is his 3rd year in the big leagues at 23, which is crazy. 15 starts, 3.84 ERA this season, 79 and 2/3, almost 90 strikeouts, 89 strikeouts, 1.10 WHIP. 4-seam sweeper, slider, changeup, sinker, curve. Basically, he just got good stuff. He's a really big guy. It's actually shocking he doesn't have as much extension as you would think. Yeah, it's above average, but being 6'8", I would have thought he would have had, top of the scale extension. So it makes his fastball be good, maybe a little bit less. Maybe a little bit less good than it could be if he had more extension, but again, it's probably good enough. 6 run value on his 4-seamer this year, 2 on the sweeper. Every other pitch is a negative run value, despite having some below 200 batting averages on those pitches. So must be some slugging in there or some walks or something. But anyway, let's see what the split was yesterday. What's also interesting about this outing, I mean, it's just something to note, is that this happened in Sacramento, where balls tend to get smashed over the fence with regularity and against a pretty good A's offense. At least an interesting one, especially at their ballpark. So he goes the 7 innings perfect with the 8 strikeouts. Here was the breakdown on that. 34 heaters, 18 sliders, 14 sinkers, 13 sweepers, 7 changeups, 6 curveballs. Only got 26% whiff. Most of it, by percentage at least, came on breaking balls, slider, and sweeper. Only threw 52% first pitch strikes, which is crazy for a perfecto. So pitched pretty good, even out of 1-0 counts, I guess. And only allowed 4 hard hit balls, all on his fastball the whole day. And overall, the exit velo in this game was 84. So he was getting them off the end or off the handle or something. And let's see exactly what it looks like. Miami Marlins and the A's. Eury Perez. So we're going to watch him get 21 straight outs here. And I mean, yeah, I'm bummed that he didn't get to go finish this thing. All right, starting the game with that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And then right to a sinker. So even Eury Perez going with the multiple fastball approach. I think this is, I was thinking about Andrew Abbott the other day, who I was not very impressed with the last time I watched him. He's one of the rare pitchers who hasn't gone to the multiple fastball model yet. He's got a good changeup and everything, but I think he could benefit from throwing his 4-seamer a little bit less. It's just not a very effective 4-seamer at this moment, even though it was last year, and he might just be staying stubborn with that. So the very first batter of this game gets the 3-2. So, you're 1 pitch away from losing your perfecto. You don't even know it to start off the game. And he ends up locating a heater right at the top of the zone, and Volte with the fly out. That'll bring up Nick Kurtz. 1 pitch out to Nick Kurtz. Look at that target in off the plate. Misses down in. Probably lucky he didn't give up a home run there, to be honest. But he doesn't. Little fly out to left. 104-4. 2 outs in the first. Here comes Geloff. Slider strike, and then sweeper off of that.
That's when he works his best.
Ground ball to third. There is 1 out there.
Especially on this weekend and with the humid temperatures.
All right, finally got the TikTok chat in here, so I'll be able to respond to some of your stuff in here now. I'm looking at it now. I just got it now. Sorry, guys. I'm watching this right now, though, and then I'll get into the chat on the back end of this. If I see anything pop up, I'll get on it. So anyway, here's Lawrence Butler. He's leading off the second, falls behind him 2-1. See how he's going to get him out here. 3-1. So 3-1 count early here. Could have easily lost the perfect game early and wouldn't have never known it. All right, another 3-2 fastball fouled off by Lawrence, and then he's going to end up punching him out looking with 99. Ooh, a little accidental front door piece for the looking strikeouts. So plenty of velo. Pretty good breaking ball, in my opinion.
Kind of like the same exact thing. He doesn't really show you that whole fastball.
And he's got a pretty large pitch mix for being a 23-year-old starter. I'll say that. There's that sweeper. I do think slider to sweeper has become kind of a meta this year. I'm sure he watched a lot of Max Meyer, who's been the best pitcher on the Marlins this year. I mean, that's what Max does. He's got the shorter breaking ball, and then he's got the bigger breaking ball. So, taking a page out of the Max Meyer book, we've seen Sonny Gray do that as well. We've seen a number of guys do that really well this year. The shorter breaking ball, the bigger breaking ball as a combo. It's definitely effective. So it's like the 2 fastballs and the 2 breaking balls. Pretty soon you're going to see the 2 changeups, all of that. Sinker down, so another 3-ball count. This is not your traditional perfect game bid. Like, that was ball 4. Cortez chases it. That was also ball 4. So, I mean, really, the A's got a little anxious here early. 3rd inning. What website am I using for this? This is the Dugout app. This is the app that the players use in Dugout during the game to review their at-bats and their innings pitched and all that stuff. And it is private, and I have it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Come on over to YouTube if you're in TikTok chat and you want to come join the grounds crew. Come subscribe over to the YouTube page.
Jack Wilson.
Oof, that fastball really played at the top. 2,800 RPM on this fastball too. This was an angry fastball with some hair on it. Just blows away the fake Max Muncy. All right, 1 out. And Jonah Heim, sinker down ball. See, even throwing sinkers to opposite handed hitters. What's the reason for his lack of extension at 6'8"? Good question. I guess we'll watch the delivery from the side to take a look at it. But overall, he just doesn't take a huge stride. He stays pretty stacked. He stays back really well. And I think he sets himself up for a very efficient rotation. That's part of the reason why he has such effortless velocity. Kind of similar to like a Cam Schlittler. But you would think if he reached out a little bit further or took a little bit of a further stride, his extension would be bigger. All right, so we'll take a little pause in the action to watch that delivery from the side here right now. Of course, there's a dude in the way, so that's not going to help. We'll find another one in a minute. Yeah, this dude is just in my way. All right, let's watch the final out of the 3rd, and then I'll try to find a clip where we can get a better view of it.
Take inside.
3rd best against NL starters.
On the ground, on a couple of
ground ball to short there on a 99-mile-an-hour 4-seam fastball. All right, let's hunt really quick for a clean view of this dude. Here's one. I mean, you see how easy it is. He's not trying to do much here. Little leg lift. See, he stays stacked really well, but he doesn't like really lean that far forward on his release. And I also think his stride could be an extra, I don't know, half a foot longer given his size. But I think he splits the difference a little bit to remain under control and to remain stacked. So to me, that's the whole reason for his lack of extension. Despite being really tall, he doesn't really like try to go out there and get it as much. All right. So that was the 3rd inning. We're back on to the 4th inning here.
Minions and monsters only in feeders now.
Just curious, does that database for Dugout also have minor league data? No, I have the research tool, the Major League Research tool, so I can go and look at some minor league hitters. It's not as smooth as this, though. This is a lot quicker and a lot more efficient to watching games. This is the best system I've ever seen. Hopefully, it can be even... I mean, I've even talked to them about some improvements for this, so hopefully this will be even better, but, yeah.
And he flies this out of play foul.
We took a long dive into Paul the other day. I think the reality is no starting pitcher is just going to remain sitting 100 for very long. At some point, you have to get into a cruising speed. For longevity in baseball, it's paramount that you find a way to be both effective and durable. And the way you'd usually do that is by throwing at about, 90-95% of your actual ability, velocity-wise. So, Paul, I think, has made that as a conscious choice. I'm sure he could throw 100, but it's hard to throw 100 over 33 starts or whatever it is, year on year, and not get banged up and miss time. So I'm guessing some of it's a choice. You could probably look at some mechanical differences, but I don't know that always. I don't know that always makes much of a difference as you might think, because people are always moving their deliveries around a little bit just as a human. You always drift one way or another. So I wouldn't point at that immediately and say that's the culprit. I think a lot of it is just, he's understanding what the job is now. And the job is to throw 200 effective innings and then on into October. So throwing 100 might not be necessary all the time. Anyway, here's a 3-2 sinker to Kurtz. It's going to work. I'm surprised this works. But this is pretty nasty. Kurtz swings right through it at 99 for the second out of the fourth, and then he's going to get a one-pitch out to end the fourth. Gel off. Sinker in, blows him up. Weak fly out to right. I like the fact that he's using both of the fastballs. I think especially guys with the big velocity, most of the fastballs are using multiple fastballs. I think it's just a great strategy. Yeah, barely looks like he's trying. 95, 99. Yeah. Do you feel the same way about Miz? Effective and durable needs to be his future. Yeah, look, he's going to face a lot of pressure to wow everybody with the velocity, and he already is wowing everybody, and there's going to be a lot of, freaking out if Miz comes out throwing 95, 97, in a start. But I think long-term, whatever he can do to stay on the field and be out there day in, day out, I think he will probably head that direction at a certain point. Because you have to understand the incentives of the game. The incentives of the game as a player are to play the game for a long time, because that's where the money is. You could be the best pitcher ever in years 0 to 3, like a Paul Skeens, or, I think of a Noah Syndergaard, or a lot of guys who are incredible right out the rip, Jabba Chamberlain, whatever have you. But those guys never get to payday if they don't find a way to be elite in years 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, health is it's a big deal if you want to get to the finish line and kind of get what you want out of the game. Not to say you shouldn't go all out if you have a chance to win something in your rookie year. You should. But again, doing it forever, it's just tough to do. It's tough to do. We've seen Chapman do it in the bullpen, but even him, there's games where he's 93, 94. But as a starter, I can't think of one starter that just threw 100 forever. I don't know. Somebody jog my memory if I'm wrong. All right, sixth inning.
Bottom of the sixth inning, 8-0 Miami ahead. The Athletics offense up again. He'll pop this back fallow into it. Not previously appeared in this
Control was a bit sporadic this game. Do you think that added the coach's decision? No, I think it was strictly a workload decision. They kind of knew what the limit was going to be for Eury today. He was off of the IL. Everything in their mind. They don't get any bonus points for him throwing a perfect game. But they get value for a guy like Eury Perez if he's healthy and pitching, and they want to either trade him or, they get to the postseason, they need to have a healthy Eury Perez. So I get it from management's perspective. But at the same time, perfect games are that special, and I would have liked to see him go for it, personally.
Junior Valentine had to wear that one. He says he's okay, but
no, I'm on YouTube. TikTok and YouTube, guys. TikTok and YouTube. So if you're on TikTok and you want to really join the community, come over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. The link's right there in my TikTok bio. Should send you right over to the YouTube page, and you'll see this. The YouTube's the main stream. The TikTok vertical stream is just another resource. So this is a really good pitch. I wanted to point out, really good sweeper here for the finish. And what have we seen in this game? We've seen a combination of 2 breaking balls and a combination of 2 fastballs. I think that's been the main thing. Here's that other breaking ball, the curveball, which he uses more to lefties. So he's really got 3 variations off of breaking balls. And then the changeup, if you want to call that a variation off the fastball. So his mix is really going 6 deep in this game.
On the ground to first.
I mean, it's just impressive level of feel for a 23-year-old. A roll over there.
The Marlins have been really good on the mound in this series. 6 2 thirds innings.
He could probably even sit 97, 99 and grab 103 in high leverage spots. I think you're talking about Miz here. He could. I'm just saying, like, he might do this for a while. He might be the rare bird that is throwing insane velocity for a couple years, 3, 4 years, whatever. You know, maybe he hasn't even reached his peak yet. I don't know, but I'm telling you, it's sooner or later, he'll settle a little bit below that peak level. Ooh. So that was a 3-1. This would have ended the perfect game here. I mean, honestly, let's be honest, he didn't throw a perfect game. He could have had several walks in this game, but it kind of worked out. That pitch is way low, and he gets the call with no challenge, which is crazy. Now he gets to go right back in the zone and finish the 6th inning. I mean, just throws it right by him at 99. So a perfect 6 innings, even though clearly got a little help there from the umpire. But yeah, just know at some point Mrs. Velo is going to take a step back. Harvey, another one who didn't make it into the big payday. DeGrom, I don't even think it's low key. It's very high key through 100 for a few years. But right around that time when he was up at 100, 101, that's when the elbow started to go. He won the Cy Young throwing more 96, 97. So, again, velocity helps, of course. It's important. There's no question. But if you want to be a long-time pro, you're probably going to have to figure out what's the best velocity you can throw at comfortably to be healthy and effective. And that might look a little different for every guy. This was a nice changeup. He doesn't get enough credit for having a good changeup either. I haven't talked about it much, but this is a pretty nice one. Kurt's way out in front of that, and it kind of comes in and around that ball. Out and around that ball, I should say. All right, here's the last batter. This is where he finishes his 7th inning. Very efficient 7th inning. And I'm just bummed that he didn't get a chance to do it. Now, they immediately score like 6 runs or whatever off the next dude. Bachar. But just a bummer. Big-time bummer for Eury. Saws off Geloff there with the sinker. 7 perfect innings. I wonder what he was thinking when they took the ball from him. Let's look at perfect games all time. Here's the list. 24, that's the thing. There's only 24 of these things. 24! 24 of these things. So Domingo Germán's your latest one, 2023 at A's. That one came out of absolutely nowhere. Felix Hernandez, 2012 versus the Rays. That was an all-time dominant game. And, you know, he's a pitcher who makes sense to get a perfect game. Matt Cain, July 13th, 2012 versus Astros. I remember this one well. Unbelievable play by Gregor Blanco out in right center in old Triples Alley. Matt Cain got on the list. Philip Umber, this was a crazy one where the last play of the game, the last play of the game was literally a strike 3, drop third strike. Brendan Ryan argued, and then he argued long enough where the catcher was able to retrieve the ball and throw him out to maintain the perfect game. Crazy. What else? Roy Halladay, 2010 at Marlins, dominant. Dallas Braden, of course, on Mother's Day versus the Rays. Mark Burley, also versus the Rays. Man, a bunch versus the Rays. Mark Burley, that was a crazy one. Great catch. Dwayne Wise at the end of that game. Randy Johnson, probably the most dominant perfect game. 13 strikeouts. 2004, David Cohn, obviously. 99 versus the Expos. David Wells, 98 versus the Twins. Those are from my childhood. Kenny Rogers, 94 versus the Angels. Have you ever seen video of this one? Absolute hammer breaking ball. Absolute hammer breaking ball. El Presidente, Dennis Martinez, one of my coaches in the minors. Great dude. The president of Nicaragua, Mr. Dennis Martinez, did it at Dodger Stadium for the Expos with a massive chew in his cheek. Fact, just facts, all facts here. Tom Browning, 1988 versus Dodgers. Mike Witt, another one. If you've ever seen the video of the Mike Witt perfect game from September 30th, 1984, the final day of the 84 season. Unbelievable breaking ball in this game. Len Barker, 81 for the Indians versus the Jays. Catfish Hunter got one in 68. Koufax, 65 versus the Cubbies. Jim Bunning for the Phillies against the Mets in 64. Obviously, Don Larson is the most famous one, 1956 World Series. Charlie Robertson, 1922 at Tigers. And then, I mean, these are all the old ragball games. Eddie Joss, Cy Young, John Ward, and Lee Richmond. But that's the whole list. That's it. There's no other guys. That's it. No others. Only 24. So he could have been the 25th. And instead, they took him out. And I don't know. It's just a bummer. It's just a bummer to me that he didn't get his chance to go for it. And, you know, I just feel like in this game, there's not a lot of moments. You know, I played 15 years in the big leagues, and I never had a moment. If I was Eury Perez, you're not taking me out of that game. I don't really care. So that's how I would have felt about it. Anyway, there was a question here about the Marlins here. Earlier, you mentioned a trade. Doesn't really make sense to move him for the Marlins, does it? They're pretty competitive. He's controllable and young. Yeah, so I'm not talking about trading Eury Perez right now. I'm talking about just in general, he's got value to the organization when he's a healthy, performing pitcher. You know, it's a young guy, controllable, all that sort of thing. And we all know the Marlins don't really spend any money, so they're always in this perpetual cycle of trading their assets for a whole bunch of new young players, and then they're trying to reach critical mass to go for it. Now, to your point, they're very good this year, and this makes them an interesting trade deadline team. Do they stick with it? They're probably going to make the postseason, or at least they're going to be in the possibility to make the postseason. So let's take a quick gander at the Marlins roster at the moment. Now, I love a lot of their young hitting talent. Liam Hicks has been a nice pickup. He's been catching. Obviously can't really throw, but a very good contact hitter back there. We love Stowers. Not playing as good as last season, but a combination of a short swing, fast swing. Otto Lopez, arguably the biggest breakout player of the year so far, killing it. Should be the starting shortstop in the All-Star game, but he did make the team. Xavier Edwards is a dog. Casey's an interesting prospect that they got for Edward Cabrera. Hasn't really clicked yet. Marcy was great last year. We'll see how he responds to the adjustments they made against him. Joe Mack can really hit. So a lot of interesting pieces there. They're all 28 or lower. That's a pretty good place to be. And then on the bump, you know, so Sandy's an interesting one. Sandy probably be a free agent any minute now. I think he might be one after this year. I have to check. But he's a guy, and then you have this duo that's pretty dynamic, Eury Perez, Max Meyer. So you think about their chances in a postseason. They got 3 pretty good starters to go at it, so they could maybe just stand pat and just kind of roll with what they got, maybe supplement it in a minor way, a cheap way, I don't know. I think the bigger issue is that their bullpen has some good arms, but they don't necessarily have that one super scary dude necessarily out there. I know Foucher at times has been really, really good. But you know who they're really missing this year? They're missing this dude right here, Ronnie Enriquez, who was nasty last year. They're also missing Bender and Nardi. All 3 of those guys are pretty good, and they would be a lot better with that. But, you know, they're the ultimate never really all-in team, not really sure what they're going to do team. And that's what makes the Marlins so fascinating, I think, as we head up to the deadline. You know, they always want to do stuff, but you know, undeniably, they're right in it right now. All right, back to the chat here for a little bit. Hey, Adam, I just had a quick question. What was it like pitching in the Trop? Most pitchers love it. I actually didn't love it. I felt like there's something about the presentation of the look into home plate that felt a little askew. It's very dark, which should be a good thing for pitchers, but I don't know. I felt a little uncomfortable on that mound. Most people don't, though. Most people love it. It's quiet. Your pitches do move a lot because there's a lack of atmosphere in there, so that's good in terms of like there's no wind or like nothing to adjust to. You know, it's going to be the same conditions every time. Bullpens down the line, don't have a problem with that, but there's no bathroom down there, so you do a lot of running back and forth to the dugout. Great clubhouse. I mean, overall, it's just quiet. If you're playing the Yankees, it's kind of sort of like a Yankee home game, same with being a Red Sox there. But the Rays are really tough to beat. They play a contact brand of baseball. It works really well in the Trop. So as much as I like playing in the Trop, I also didn't love pitching there because it was difficult. And I didn't feel as comfortable on the mound as many other people do. All right, what else we got here? Wow, I grew up in Point Lookout. I remember your Aunt Regina with the long red hair. Yes, my Aunt Reggie, she's out in New Mexico. Point Lookout, that's my childhood summer spot out in Long Island. What's your opinion on the velo with Chase Burns? Feels like a high effort guy. Yeah, you know, coming out of the draft, I thought Chase Burns had real closer potential, not necessarily starter. So far, he's been incredible, so I'm eating my words a little bit. He's shown even good feel for the changeup when he's thrown a few of them. But man, something about that fastball breaking ball combo has been electric. He throws a lot of strikes. He's managed to be semi-efficient, given the high octane approach. I think that he's going to have to make adjustments as they go, but for right now, you just kind of ride it and you just see where it takes you. I do like his delivery a lot. I don't worry about his elbow much, to be honest with you. It's be more shoulder with how much he hikes up high. But again, I don't have a lot of intimate knowledge. I'm not in that clubhouse all the time. All right, what else we got here? To go deep, the Marlins would need someone who can pitch for Fairbanks in away games in October. Yeah, because he can't pitch in the cold weather. I mean, they would need more bullpen upgrades, to be fair, but a lot of teams are going to be in the market for that. They're not always the easiest situation. Adam, do you think it's over for Woody? The issue keeps lingering and sad to see as I love Woody. Talking about Brandon Woodruff here. So it's funny, I talked to Woody when I did their game recently. Great dude. Big fan of his pitching. I don't think it's over for him, but man, the shoulder stuff, it's not great, and it seems to have lingered a really long time. And this is why I said if the Brewers are really going for it this year, they could be the team to pull the trigger on a big, risky trade that they don't normally do. Because if you have Harrison, you have Miz, and you can add a big guy, whether it's, you know, Sonny or obviously Skubal or some others, you know, whoever might be out there, maybe even bringing Peralta back, who knows, then maybe you have a little better shot this year. Because at some point, the Brewers have to stop playing the regular season game and they have to try to turn their attention to the postseason game and try to win one of these things. I don't know if this is the year or not the year, but it seems like it's just the Dodgers are the one team that really stands in their way, in my opinion. So maybe it is the year. But I am a little worried about Woodruff. I love watching Woodruff throw. We've seen his velocity drop and be up and down over the years and sometimes troublingly low. I mean, he had a game this year, he's throwing 85. But, I mean, shit, when he's out there, he can really pitch. So I hope he's all right. I hope he bounces back. But it's been pretty rough with the injury stuff, left and left. With the dark comment about the trot, have you seen the new roof? Overall lighter in there. Now, I haven't been in there yet, but that's how it felt before. Caden baseball, I swear every time Joe Ryan pitches Yankee Stadium in games 2 to 4 miles an hour. You know, a lot of people do this. This is actually an underrated thing about being a Yankee or a Dodger. Nobody wants to hear about these two teams complain, but I do feel like people come in, they have more adrenaline in those ballparks, and they always give the hitters a little bit more to deal with from a velocity standpoint just because you're juiced up being in those environments. Joe Ryan was up about a mile and a half yesterday. Andrew Morris, who came in, was up like 2 miles an hour out of the bullpen. So you see it all the time. Did you see Greg Weissert has a new arm angle? I have not seen that yet. I'm excited to watch some clips of that. Weissert came in yesterday and Ranger went down in the 3rd inning and lowered his arm angle, if you can check it out. Well, now you have me intrigued. My guy, Greg Weissert, one of my buddies, was with me in Team Italy, fellow sinker-sweeper pitcher, although he's become much more four-seam and changeup oriented. So he came in this year, 14-degree arm angle on average right now in the year, which is lower than last year, 16 degrees. So are we talking even lower? Did he just go crazy low? This was in the Angel game yesterday, Angel Red Sox. You caught my attention with this comment. All right, Weissert, 18 pitches, 2 outs. Let's see how low he is.
Siri, the batter, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. There are 2 out. Runner on at first base.
I don't know. Is that lower? Do we have TJ Stuff on arm angle here? Because it looks low, but 14's already pretty low. I don't know. Maybe this is single digits. I don't know. Looks pretty low for sure. 20-inch sinker there at 0 vert. I mean, that lends itself to a pretty low slot. All right. I don't know. I don't have the individual arm angle game stuff. I think Savant should do a better job with that, to be honest. What else we got here in the chat before we get into another pitcher? Do players like T-Mobile Park? Yes, almost everybody loves that ballpark. Is the drop-off in Skeen's spin rate concerning? I would say yes if it continues. Now, the last game when we watched him pitch, he kept looking at his hand like the ball was slipping out, so that could have been a contributor in the lower spin. But yeah, if it's consistent, if you see him down another 200 on average this next start and the next start, That's an immediate red flag. Grip strength is a huge indicator of potential, an early indicator of potential something going wrong with the arm there or something else. So we'll keep an eye on that, but I'm tempted to think a lot of it was just the conditions and also this oily leather that they've been talking about with the defects on the balls. If you go back a couple streams on my YouTube channel, you'll see, actually, I think it's the last stream that we did about an hour on Paul Skeens, if you want to go watch that. Always thought you would have been good in the Phillies pen. Ever close? Dave Dombrowski was never into me, I think because he likes velocity so much. So no, never close. There was one year where they had a little bit of interest in me. I think it was after 2022, after one of my good years with the Mets, but ultimately I went back to the Mets. All right, what else we got here? I'm gonna fast forward through a few comments here. How has Jamie Arnold been doing in the minors? A little bit of up and down. He's had some really dominant games from the low slot. And he's had some more rough games. So he's going through a little bit of growing pains at the AA level right now. Weissert looked even lower last than even his previous. Yeah, I'd like to know the number on it. I mean, it's already low, but I can't tell from my eye. All right, we're going to go watch somebody else. I think we're going to backtrack a little bit to Yoshi from a couple days ago. I've had somebody in my chat who's been all over me to watch, I think Showtime LA, who's been all over me to watch Yoshi really for a while now. We haven't watched him in a bit. But he had a dominant start the other day versus the Padres, so I think he's worth revisiting. He did make the All-Star team. I think he's on the periphery of the Cy Young race. Obviously, he's well behind Miz right now. He doesn't even have a strikeout per inning. But he's been awesome, incredibly efficient, .88 whip, 9-5, 2.49, which matches his ERA from last year. So he's got a 2.49 ERA over his last 46 starts. And this year he's got 104 2/3 innings pitched. He's absolutely above average in every single category. I love watching this guy pitch. He's a master, an absolute master at what he does. So he pitched versus the Padres. I want to say it was either Friday or Saturday. I think it was this game. Yeah, 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Player breakdown from the game, 35 splits. What a magic pitch that is, 35 splits. Velocity was up this game as well. 26 heaters, 19 sinkers, 11 cutters, 10 curveballs, and 6 sliders. 64% first pitch strikes, so right on target there. Only 3 hard hit balls in this whole game. Holy shnikes. And it was a pretty whiffy game, but nothing crazy. He actually got most of his whiffs on 4-seamers. All right. Padres, Dodgers. Dodgers are so far ahead in this division, but it's because they have pitchers like Yoshi. He's a freaking beast. All right, let's watch his result pitches. We'll go one by one. Sicario, might be you, baby. All right, first pitch of the game is a curveball to Tatis, trying to stay out of that first pitch fastball ambush. Ends up getting a hit on the curveball anyway. So good job by Tatis here, jumping a curveball first pitch. You never see this. Base hit off of Yamamoto. Second batter up is Cronenworth. Going to get him with the split. Ooh, a high split. Gonna get away with it. Little floater out to center. Edman is there. 1 out. What do you guys think about these Stars and Stripes unis this weekend? I think they were good. Ooh, 3-pitch strikeout of Machado. Let's watch all 3 of these pitches. I like them a lot. I'm glad that MLB went back to actually customizing the jerseys instead of just doing a hat. I think it's really cool, these jerseys. They make really good gifts. When they did Mother's Day, Father's Day, you could give them away to your family. These are really good, bidding items, but they also just look cool. I think they're pretty dope. That was a nasty split. We'll watch this for a third time. This is a nasty split to Machado. Just gross. All right, that's the second out, and here is the third out. Sheets, actually, no, he's going to get a hit on a cutter here. Stays very choppy on that cutter, gets on top of that. Sheets has been good. Line drive to right, first and third with 2 outs here in the first inning, so Yoshi is going to have to get out of this inning, so we'll watch the whole at-bat to France. First pitch, split, chops it off his foot. Now they're going to try to go sinker in off that. Gets it there, breaks the bat, I think. Pops it up foul, so right ahead 0-2. Ooh, up the ladder with the 4-seam. Doors. That was a master class. Splitter to sinker to 4-seam. That's a 3-way tunnel. Saw his opportunity to expose him up top.
Yamamoto needs one more strike.
And that's just straight up doors. All right, second inning. First batter's going to get a hit. Xander Bogaerts on a sinker. He's one of the rare few guys with good numbers off of Yoshi here in the first couple of years of Yamamoto's big league career. So Xander starts it off with a little ground ball up the middle. 3-2 count to Jackson Merrill. Here comes a split, a 93-mile-an-hour split. Swings below zone, and it's a line drive double play at Freddie. That's a bummer. They're running on the pitch. If this ball is anywhere but right at Freddie, it's probably a run scores. Merrill really dropped the head on that. Hit that right on the line to Freddie for the double play. So 2 outs there. Slider to Andujar for the punch out to end the second inning. What do you guys think? Love the unis. The custom unis catcher gear is very cool. Yep, catcher school is very good. I like the jersey too. Nice look. Big fan they didn't overdo it. Yeah, I totally agree. All right, third inning. For Mr. Yamamoto, it's going to start with a strikeout of Campusano. Four-seam up. See you later. He throws so much stuff with drop to it. And then all of a sudden he goes uphill. And when you look at Yamamoto, you know, it's a pretty low release because he's not a tall guy. So he's got that VAA, that flat fastball to the top. He's got every trick you could ever have. So he's working you everything going down, 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 down. And then he'll upshoot a fastball here. And even there, get a little bit of a leg hang timing disruption. So he's doing it all. All right, back to Tatis. This time it's going to be a sinker in off the plate. Beautiful pitch there. Ground ball to Mookie. So a lot of guys want to pitch in to righties, right on right. They just don't have the command to do it. And honestly, a lot of pitchers get scared. Because you think about it, you're going in on a righty. If you don't hit right on the corner, where are your 2 misses? One's way off the plate, you might hit him, and the other one's down the middle. So when you go right on right in with a sinker, it's a great pitch, but you got to be able to locate it, which means you can't be afraid to hit him. And that's honestly just the fact. You got to just throw it in there with reckless abandon and understand that you're going to make the pitch. So great pitch there by Yoshi. Gets the easy rollover from Tatis. He's going to finish the third with a strikeout of Cronenworth with another one of those uphill fastballs. Ooh, Jake was pissed. Let's watch this whole at bat to Cronenworth. Let's see how he worked him. Four-seam up ball. Four-seam dotted up and in strike. Perfect location there. And then he's going to go curveball. Whenever he lands a fastball at the top of the zone for a strike, Yoshi likes to go curveball right off of that because it comes out in that high tunnel. You see that? Just as high as that fastball, but it's about, 15 or more miles an hour slower. So what that does is it gets the batter a little jumpy. They see the ball at the top. They start to go for it, and then they realize that they don't have enough length in their swing, and they can't cover the slow pitch when it drops to the bottom. And then he can go back up top with the velocity again and just straight up beat you. So that's just perfect execution. I know Cronenworth is frustrated, but that's just great pitching by Yoshi, and he's through 3 on to the 4th. Machado, sinker in. Just gets it in enough. Pops it up to Tuck for the first out of the 4th. Can of corn. Sheets is going to draw a walk, so Sheets is on base twice in this game. Hit the cutter and now draws the rare walk from Yamamoto. So 1 on, 1 out, and that's going to bring up Ty France. Perfect double play candidate. Doesn't get the double play, but does get the fly out to Tuck. Mislocation there, just a touch. I think he wanted this ball a little more in, right? Yeah, missed down middle. But France just kind of slices off that ball a little bit. Little fly out there. All right, and then he'll finish out his 4th inning with a called strike 3 top shelf curveball to Xander. Let's watch this whole at bat because clearly that came out of nowhere with Xander's reaction. Splitter down ball below the zone.
Now 8 for 20 in his career against Yamamoto.
Curveball strike on the corner. These clips are coming from the Dugout app. It's a private app, so it's not publicly available, but I have it so I can speed watch these games. It's one of the things that makes this stream so cool. Oof, an absolute frozen rope to the corner. Xander goes and challenges this, but this is a strike. So this is just a perfect pitch. You can't throw it any better than that. Gets him to 2-2. Still no curveballs yet. There's a slider off the plate away for a ball. Then he's going to go split down. Yeah, so he hasn't shown him anything up out of the hand. So then when this curveball comes up out of the hand, that's a freeze. And a total buckle by Xander. Just masterclass in pitching. Check out the buckle. I mean, no argument. Just knows he got. So nasty pitching there by Yoshi. All right, Jackson Merrill, little splitter roll over there. So another nice and tidy inning in. Well, that's the first out of the fifth. Very quick out of the first out of the fifth. Here is Andujar. Slider away, gets the reach and roll over. There's the real Max Muncy. Fires it over to first. 2 outs there. You see the swings. They're not getting their A swings off. 0-2 cutter away, called strike 3, no challenge. This ball just backed up and stayed on the corner just enough. I don't think he meant to do this, but this is a happy accident.
70th pitch of the night from Yamamoto.
Need a BC merch that just says it's a private app called the Dugout app. You're right, we do need that. Sorry, it's private. All right, 6th inning, Tatis, splitter, chop to third, Muncy's there. You see just nobody's getting off their ace swing. Called strike 3 coming here to Cronenworth. Oh, he's going to be pissed.
He freezes him with a fastball.
Yeah, let's watch the whole at-bat to Cronenworth again. He just dominates this dude. Curveball, ball, cutter in, ball, so 2-0. Splitter off of that.
On a 2-0, Cronenworth.
3-0. So he gets himself to 3-0. He's still going to punch. Let's watch it. 4-seam middle. Obviously, you're not swinging at that. Looking for a base runner. 4-seam again. This time it's perfect to the up and away spot. Swing through, and then a backdoor cutter just dotted. So Yoshi goes 3-0 and then just finds his command and throws perfect pitch after perfect pitch to come back in the count and punch out Cronenworth. Yeah, not a good feeling. But that's the thing. When you execute like that, it's unreal. Oop, got another strikeout. Let's watch the whole thing to Manny. 4-seam in. Senses the ambush. Manny with a huge, I'm definitely swinging at first pitch type of vibe here. And he gets it to the perfect location, just up and in off the plate. Swing through. Slider off of that.
80 from Yamamoto. Machado watches the slider miss low and away.
Sinker in, swing and miss, nasty again. So he's gotten the chase in off the plate twice. Looks like he's really opening up the hips, expecting something in. Then this pitch comes even more in. Yikes. And then he's going to punch him out with the curveball. So a whole bunch of other stuff, and then the 2 speeds down curveball is just too much. Especially once you see a hitter's foot leaking. So Manny leaked out open on 3 pitches in this at-bat, makes curveball a perfect pitch to throw. When your energy is pulling away from the plate, I mean, there's no way you're not gonna be early on this, and you see he just doesn't have any plate coverage anymore. He actually swings outside of the ball, inside of the ball, like the ball's outside of the bat completely. Unbelievable pitching here by Yamamoto. Great awareness of everything that's going on. All right, 7th inning. Sheets.
So Yama will try again.
Finally gonna get Sheets out. Little splitter off the plate away. Chopper over to Muncy, 1 out in the 7th. Next up is Ty France. Gonna get him with a slider off the end of the bat. Just didn't quite get that. Only 91.9 miles an hour. Flies it out to Teoscar. Ooh, Xander's gonna get on with a walk. Just down, so Xander on twice. And that's going to lead to his last batter of the game, which is Merrill. So let's watch all 7 pitches from this final batter of the game for Yamamoto. Looks like the delivery was a little off timing there. Pulls the fastball in for a ball. Here comes a split. Great take by Merrill there. 2-0. Doubles up on the split anyway. This time throws it perfect at the bottom of the zone. Nice little celebration of that by Will Smith with the glove tap. And they're always reading timing, right? So he throws the split, right? He's early on the split. I'm going to show you this again. Early on the split, pulls it foul. So if you're early on the split, you'll be more early on the curveball because it's slower. So early, in fact, that he smashes it off his own knee. You know how much this hurt? Did he get this on the pad or this actually... Yeah, it got it on the pad, thankfully. But again, you're so early that you're pulling the ball almost behind you. That's how good he's reading of things. So really, he could throw another curveball down here. He could start to speed him back up. A lot of options. Going for the down and away freeze, misses middle. So that was a mistake. But the speed kind of helped him. Ooh, and then he gets an automatic ball on the pitch timer. A rare violation for Yoshi. Sends us the 3-2. No matter, he resets and throws a perfect splitter to end his outing to Merrill. He just never doesn't have an option. He always has a good option. He's so good at reading the batter's timing, speed-wise, and then the execution and the paint, all of it. I don't know. For me, he might be the most complete pitcher in the big leagues. You know, you could talk about Mizorowski, you can talk about Sanchez, you could talk about Skeens, you could talk about a lot of pitchers. But I don't know. Something about Yoshi tells me that he's the most prepared for any type of matchup, I think, of anybody in the big leagues. And that's where I would put him. I would put him as probably the most complete pitcher in the big leagues. Him and Wheeler. I would say, are the two most complete. There's nothing that Yoshi does poorly. Everything about his pitching, the way he holds runners, right? Let me see his run game. Yep, positive in the run game. We know he's Gold Glove caliber on the mound. Fielding, he's durable. I mean, really everything. He might be the most complete pitcher in the big leagues. I think he might be. Curious what you guys think of that. Good chance Yoshi goes down as the best Japanese pitcher to come over. I think so. I mean, I think he clears Darvish. I think he clears Nomo. You know, there's really no other competition. I mean, Shohei, but I think he's a better pitcher than Shohei. I do. Agree, he's the most complete in the game. Has it all, bulldog mentality, same as Wheeler as well. I think Wheeler is right there too, but I just think well-roundedness, I mean, shit. Who are you going to put over Yoshi? I don't know. Hey, El Soccer in here in the chat. We don't do betting advice in here. I don't know anything about betting advice. It's also baseball. You're crazy if you're betting on baseball. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Of the elite pitchers, he's one of the only ones who believe he could do it, even if his stuff was below average. Agreed. He's so good, man. He's so good. He's unbelievable. Most complete, in my opinion. Can we take a glance at Henriquez? He's been a beast since last May. I'll take this suggestion here. Been hearing a lot about Edgardo Henriquez as of late from Dodger fans. We all know he's got explosive stuff. It's very similar to like a Grant Taylor level. He's really not that far off from Mason Miller. The big difference being that his slider is not his primary pitch. It's 2 fastballs. Did he do 2 fastballs last year? Yeah, he did. Okay. So I'm late to the party on that. But 2 fastballs sitting at over 100, 100.6, 100.8 from Henriquez is just unfair, with a pretty good breaking ball on top of it. You know, an extra 6 inches of break to the left at 88 is always going to help you. And then both of those fastballs are actually pretty distinct. 4-seam, not necessarily any type of special movement traits to it, but it's 100. And then the sinker is a deviation off that to some extent. So Edgardo Henriquez has been awesome. 0.89 ERA. Let's look at his game log so I can show you what I'm talking about. He pitched yesterday, or not yesterday, on the 3rd versus the Padres. So let's watch him on the 3rd versus the Padres. $11 pitches. So let's watch all 11 pitches of Henriquez. This is Edgardo Henriquez. If you guys haven't seen him, it's absolute flames. There's the sinker. At some point, you're going to get the 4-seam once he wants to get above the barrel. Here's the slider. I don't think he has as good of a feel to his slider as like a Mason Miller does, and that's why Mason Miller is Mason Miller, because he can just spam sliders and then throw 103 by you. But I would argue Henriquez might have more effective fastballs with the 2 shapes. So choose up Ty France there. Here's a 95-mile-an-hour cutter, which is kind of like a slider. 4-seam there, up and away.
To 100 miles an hour, and then the slider.
What's the metric on this? Yeah, I'd say this is more of a slider, to be honest with you. But another guy with 2 breaking ball shapes, 2 fastball shapes. Here's the 100 for the punchy of Merrill. And that's even down. Straight gas. And then a 2-pitch out to Xander. So this is what he's been doing all year. Just pumping strikes with premium shit. And it's working. Sinker down, chopper. Grounded out. Does remind me of Gratterall a little bit with maybe a little more swing and miss in his game. I saw a comparison to Brewstar in here earlier. Somebody said it in here, right? Anyway. This Gratterall's new name. Yeah. Man, poor Brewstar. He's been hurt for so long. Back surgery, out for the year. That stinks for him. He was a nasty guy to watch. For sure. So let's see what we want to do next. I'm gonna stay here in the chat for a minute, and then we'll probably hop in. I got a couple options in my head, including Nolan McLean versus the Braves yesterday. We did a deep dive on Skeens the other day. I still think he's fine. I think the biggest thing is his breaking ball command and breaking ball shape have not been consistent this year, so it makes him a little bit less dynamic. And then also I think, more people have seen him, more familiarity, slightly less location, but I still think he's elite. I don't think he should have made the All-Star team. I think Ashcraft should have from the Pirates personally, but Skeens is undoubtedly still a top 5 pitcher. He's just going through a little bit of a moment here, in my opinion. All right, what else we got here? Do you think Yamamoto is better than Skeens? I do think so. I know Skeens had him beat probably coming into this year, but at present moment, I would take Yamamoto over Skeens. We have a little bit more of a sample size with Yoshi, too. We know what he looks like going back to Japan and then what he did in the postseason. You get bonus points for that in my mind. What else we got here? Does Joe Ryan have really good ride with his fastball? Yeah, so Joe Ryan, I mean, we could watch him maybe in a little bit, but just so you know, he's got the really low release, one of the lowest in the game, so he has an incredibly uphill fastball. Probably one of the best fastballs in the game, despite its velo being, what I would say mid for today's standards, but it's incredible. The ride, the uphill, the angle, the vertical approach angle, one of the best in the game. Brian Wu, Joe Ryan, those guys. All right, please do Nolan McLean. I think you're right. We should do that. I think he'd be fun to watch next. All right, good. Just got an email that helped me. Real quick here, answer to Yordan Glazer before we're watching Nolan McLean next. How would you pitch against Yordan Alvarez? Well, I faced him many times, and listen, it was a horrible matchup for me. Every time I studied Yordan, I said, I have no freaking idea how to pitch this guy. So let me think about what I would do right now. This will be a fun little exercise, and then we'll watch Nolan McLean. So what I would first do is I already know that I don't want to get ambushed by him. So the first thing I would do is I would go look at his first pitch swing percentages, see if there's anything low that I can steal a strike with. That would be my unless there's guys on base, then that probably goes away. But I'm trying to steal a strike. And then after that, I'm going to take a look at his zones and just try to figure. I mean, I have to stick and move no matter what, but I would look for some indication in the charts here. And I would say, okay, what areas do I need to be in with each pitch? So when it comes to hard stuff versus Yordan from a righty, here's the 4-seam chart. So you would say, okay, down and away is pretty good. If you're going to come in, you really got to get it up in. So I think up in would be the key. Up in, down and away with the 4-seam, but again, don't have a lot of margin for error there, missing in the middle. Now, breaking ball is tricky. Breaking ball, you don't want to be in zone at all to Yordan with breaking ball. Now, I would say top shelf back door might be the pitch. So you see, it's not like really blue up at the top here, but there are probably some stolen strikes. So remember, I told you I want to steal a strike. Maybe a top shelf backdoor sweeper first pitch would be ideal, but again, it's a tight window. And then here's another issue is on the changeup. Or split, you better be accurate with it. You better get it away from him and probably not in the zone because he's not fooled too much. So there's not a lot of indication of like a safe place to go, but I would try to steal a strike, top shelf back door, and then from there I try to get him to expand. Obviously easier said than done. But that would be my initial thoughts about facing Yordan. I don't remember how many times I faced Yordan, but I know I faced him a few times. See if we can find any of that. All right, well, definitely Red Sox, Astros. Well, I should do Astros, Red Sox. Hold on. From 2021, I know I faced them a couple times. In Fenway, possibly? See if maybe in this game. Yeah, he got a hit here off me. So here's Ottavino versus Jordan, 2021. Oh, yeah, I was trying to throw curveball at the time versus lefties, trying to climb my arm slot, but I had a hard time not leaving my hand behind here. So that's a bad looper out there for ball 1. Here comes a four-seam. The GOAT of baseball, Yordan Alvarez. Four-seam in, clanked by Vasquez 2-0, not great. Here comes a front door sinker. This is a dangerous pitch, just trying to steal a strike. I am able to get it because I put it right on the corner there. 2-1, here comes a sweeper. Down in, so again, wasn't really willing to challenge him. 2-1, tried to go with my best pitch here. Ended up bringing it all the way in. That was 22 inches, by the way, though. That was pretty nasty. And then I think I go front door sinker here, and he's able to still take me off the monster. Oh, yeah, I missed away. Hits it off the plate away, off the monster. Ends up getting a single because Verdugo does a good job running this one down. But, I mean, he hits the ball off the plate away off me. And this might be our only official regular season matchup, although I know I faced him in the postseason as well. But I don't know. You can see from here I didn't really have any plan. Bad plan. The no plan, the bad plan. So, anyway, that is, that's the Jordan watching there for a second. How do you grip that sinker? Okay, so what I did with my sinker was a little bit different than some other guys. You know, you're on the train tracks here for most guys. What I did was I took this finger off. So my middle finger was like right off the train tracks, and this one was on the train tracks. Thumb in the middle. And then what I always did was I tried to just think pointer finger pressure. I want to keep my pointer finger on the ball as long as possible to ensure that I get that perfect spin so I can get the seam shift and movement. So I actually took again to review, took my middle finger off the seam just a bit and put a lot of pressure on my pointer finger. And that's how I created the little bit of cut out of my hand with the perfect spin to bring back the sink. So that was my method of throwing the seam shift sinker. Yeah, but I bet you wish I was on the team now. All right. All these Frank Fleming worshipers, one of the worst fans I've ever seen in my life. All right. It's time to look at Nolan McLean. One of the only reasons to admire the Mets right now is Mr. Nolan McLean. We already did Eury Perez earlier in the stream. The majority of pitchers break down film and tendencies like you do. I mean, not to the same level, but everybody watches their outings back, for sure. For sure. Just a lot of people don't know what they're doing. Okay. Nolan McLean, pitch versus the Braves. The other day, this is his season right now. 18 starts, 3.73, 101 innings, 112 strikeouts, 1.12 whip. Fantastic sophomore campaign going on. I know he hit a little bit of a glitch in the middle with a couple of clunkers. At times, he can't control his sweeper. We've watched a ton of Nolan pitch. Really, almost all the pitches he's thrown since he's got to the big leagues. But, you know, he's just an interesting case. He really is. Oh, the wife's texting me. Sure, what time? Hold on. Archer says, hi, Dad. I just texted you, Brad. I have a ESPN production Zoom at 2, but maybe I can take that from the road if that's what we need to do. It's fine with me. All right, let's dig in on Nolan here. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts versus the Braves yesterday. This was a crazy game. The Mets almost let go, but they didn't. 25 heaters, which has become four-seam, which I always say is probably, besides his cutter, probably his most vulnerable pitch. But he's been throwing it a lot. And he's been effective with it. So we'll just watch. Anyway, 23 curveballs. That's his best pitch. So it's a good sign that he threw a lot of them. Perhaps the zone rate was good. Yeah, 48% zone rate's really good for him on curveball. 21% sinker, 13% sweeper, 8% cutter, 6% changeup. And what else in this game? Not a huge whiff game for McLean, but you're not going to get that every game. Didn't even throw a ton of first pitch strikes. But for me, it all comes down to whether he's landing his breaking balls for strikes. I think those are his best pitches by far. And, you know, to me, it's like, just land those and everything becomes wide open, including both fastballs. The sinker for Freeze, the four seam for Chase. I think it's a little bit suspicious that recently he's deleted his changeup usage, which is a plus pitch in my opinion as well. But I think something might be going on with the feel on his fingers or something. All right, here we go. Nolan McLean, first inning. I think this was his one bad inning, right? Starts it off with a heater for a strike. Another thing that he's done that stabilized his season recently is he's stayed put on one side of the rubber. Now he's just exclusively over here on the third base side. Whereas not that long ago, he was moving around a ton. Oh my God, that was a hit by pitch? Jeez, he almost swings at this. He might even swing at it. And this breaks across the entire length of the plate and more and hits Drake Baldwin on the foot. Now, did Drake swing at this? I think he swung. I think this should have been a hit by pitch. I don't know. It's pretty borderline. I could go either way, but it could have been a hit by pitch strikeout, which is always the best kind of strikeout. That's what we call a double kill. Double kill. I do not have ESPN tonight. I just found out, Brett. No studio work right now on the schedule. Just found out. All right. Next up, Ozzy Albies. Sinker away ball. Here's the sweeper. Doesn't quite get to the corner. 2-0. 2-0 sinker popped foul. And then curveball. Poke down the line. Benj with a little trouble grabbing, and I think Baldwin's going to come around to score on that, right? Nope. Second and third, no outs. And here comes Olsen.
Left-handers have had no trouble against it this year, and now here's another.
I'm an Astros fan. Did you have a feeling they were cheating against you when you pitched against them? Yeah, maybe a little bit, but not any time after like 2019. 2017, I mean, everybody kind of knew for a long time, and they weren't the only team, to be fair. A lot of teams trying to cheat during that era. I was suspicious of a lot of teams. But the Astros we kind of knew about. That was like being talked about by players. Ooh, up in sinker. Good sliding play by Taylor there. Ooh, a no-run score. That was a nice play. But I don't know. It was a little suspicious. Like in 2019 postseason, I got beat up pretty bad by the Astros. It felt like they knew everything I was throwing. Maybe I just pitched bad. I don't know. I've tried to erase it from my memory, and I'm not gonna look to make any excuses. But there was a lot of thoughts for that time that they could have been doing some stuff. Anyway, line out. Spectre, I hate to tell you this, man, but your team is the other team that I'm very suspicious of. Very. There was a metal bat pinging in the Dodger dugout all through those years, and I don't have any actual evidence. I don't have any proof, but I feel like it was there. All right, there's the hit. That scores the 2 runs. So a little bit of first inning trouble here. I don't like this pitch choice to Harris very much. Cutter in zone, I feel like, is his most vulnerable pitch besides his four-seam in zone. So they continue to do this, and I get it. On paper, cutter into Harris makes some sense. But when you leave it over the zone, I've seen him wham that pitch a lot. So poor pitch there, 2-0. Well, 2 runs on the Braves there. All right. Here is Dubon. Sweeper ball. And sinker here, and here's the 3rd run as Harris moved all the way up to 3rd on a wild pickoff attempt, I believe. Another base hit there. So 3 runs early in this game for the Braves. Looked like another tough day for the Mets, but then McLean really locks it in. Really locks it in after this inning. 2-0 to Dom Smith. Sinker here. He's going to get a very, very clutch double play because he was in trouble in this first inning for sure. So, escapes the first. 3 runs do come across. Mets would respond. Now they're up 5-3 as McLean takes the mound in the second. 4-seam down strike to Riley, and Riley has been in a bad place. Sweeper away, swing and miss. Swinger up and away, up, fouled back, and then curveball for the strikeout. This was a good tunnel. He went up with the sweeper here to Riley, kind of a mistake, but then he uses the high out-of-hand mistake to then throw the high out-of-hand curveball and drop it below the zone. So very good usage of a bad pitch to parlay into a really good pitch right after that. That was nasty.
You know, adding that cutter and fall in love with the cutter.
I understand with his
Spectre, you're not going to win this argument. They swept a lot of stuff under the rug. The MLB admitted that there was more than one team. So, just telling you.
A non-starter last night, but got on base 3 times.
It's all water under the bridge now, because even then, they weren't even the only team. There was a lot of teams that were trying to do some stuff. So, but Astros were just so brazen with the trash can. I mean, come on, you're banging a trash can. Everybody's going to hear that. All right, so there's a walk. I don't think he was sharp early. He's going to lock it in here late. I mean, that's middle. That's a pretty good pitch to hit. Good job by Ewing to go attack that ball in the outfield. All right, back to the top of the order. There's a first pitch curveball to Baldwin. Again, once he hits with a breaking ball early in the count, they're usually cooked after that. Curveball here. 2-1. And my personal theory on the Dodgers cheating was that it was down near the camera well. All the way past where Dave stands, like more towards home plate. Turner used to stand there all game, and a couple other guys, and there was I guarantee you there was a live feed down there. Guaranteed. Why else would you stand down there the whole game? No need to be over there. No baseball player wants to stand in that location unless there was some sort of advantage. All right, 2 outs. Here's Albies. 4-seam up. So it looks like early in the game he was struggling with everything, and so he just starts to go more 4-seams here. Really turns it back on. There's another risky cutter, although he got that to a good location. That's a good pitch there. Curveball off of that. Ozzie hanging in, and then probably front door sinker. Yeah, front door sinker off of that swing makes a lot of sense. He misses with it up and away. He's going to get a kind of a fortunate out here because Beatty's playing in the hole. So I don't think McLean looked great in the first 2 innings, personally. Here's inning 3. 4-seam fouled off. Cutter to Olsen. Now, I don't mind it 0-1 because you can throw it for Chase. Probably a pitch Matt would like to swing at. Didn't swing at it. 0-2 curveball ball. And then he's going to fix it. Curveball strike here. Ooh, nice pitch. Little backdoor disappearing hammer from McLean. So that was really clean right there. All right, 1 out in the 3rd. Curveball strike. There's the changeup. We've been waiting to see a changeup. He's got such a good changeup, but he hasn't been throwing them a lot. So brings him out here a little bit here in the 3rd inning. Oops, see, that's what I'm talking about. Great pitch to Harris. I love changeup to Harris. Changeups and then Chase pitches to Harris. He swings at everything. As good as he is, he likes to swing. That's the game plan. Gonna punch him out with the curveball here. Yep, see you later. To the back foot. Nasty. All right, so coming out really strong here in the 3rd inning. Dubon. 4-seam ball. 4-seam out, so a 1-2-3 3rd. Still not seeing pinpoint fastball command or whatever, but that was a much better inning. All right, 4th inning. Sinker to Dom Smith. Check swing foul ball. Probably go in here. Changeup off that. Good to see him throwing his changeup again. Really weak tapper back to the mound. Ooh, smooth fielding pitcher right there, Mr. McLean. Very nice. Would you be sitting curve or sweeper first pitch versus Nolan? Probably sweeper. I've watched him a lot more. Try to throw sweepers for strikes early in the count, so that would be my guess. Although, given his zone rate on his breaking ball the last few games, I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be sitting fastball probably first pitch, but sweeper if I had to pick those 2. Ooh, Hunter Greene came back. Yeah, I would like to watch that. We'll watch that next. I know we're doing a lot of pitching these days, but that's the specialty anyway. Not a great pitch here, but Riley just can't seem to get anything to go positive for himself. All right, Yastrzemski pulls the fastball in. Much better one there. Changeup coming off of that. Yeah, he needs to throw his changeup. That's a good equalizer for him. Front door sinker for Freeze. He hasn't had this pitch dialed in for a while, and a lot of it's the angle. So when you want to be a guy who throws front door sinkers, like you want to start a pitch here and run it back to the corner, it's just hard from this angle. I mean, look where his hand is on release. So now you're asking for a pitch to trend very steeply this way and then still end up on the inside part of the plate. Just a really hard pitch. You're talking like a millisecond of difference to either pulling it in and like almost hitting the guy or missing wildly over here. Like it's just a really hard angle. Typically you'd want to be standing over here to make this pitch. So that's why I think all of a sudden this hasn't become quite as good of a pitch for McLean, but that's not to say he can't execute it sometimes, but he hasn't executed it yet in this game. See how he pulls that one in? Now they're going to try it again. Let's see if he gets it this time. Well, misses it down the middle. So again, that was a poor miss. Ends up working out. That's a poor miss. All right, end of the fourth, on to the fifth. Four-seam up and away, ball one. Four-seam strike. Cutter here. Oh, Vientos. Oh, poor Mark. He fell down on his butt and then couldn't pick up the ball. And then he just goes, dang it. All right, so leadoff man on there. Back to the top of the order. Sinker away ball. Called strike coming here. Right on the corner. So away. Now sweeper off that line.
With a first baseman that hadn't played first and a third baseman that hadn't played third.
That's a ball.
I think, you know, he didn't have much of that.
97 in. So away, in. That always seems to play. This one had a little bit of hair on it too. 97. It's one of the things that helps his four-seam play a little bit better than it should is that he throws it hard. All right, long at bat coming here with Albies. See, that's a perfect cutter up and in. Doesn't get the call. That stinks. Sinker now. Good pitch to hit. Fouled off. Curveball. This is the biggest difference I've seen in this game is he's throwing some curveballs for strikes. Nasty. 1-2. Four-seam up. Underneath that. Fouled off. Got to go a little higher. Doesn't get any higher. It's another foul. Curveball off that line. Get it to down in. Ooh, goes back door with it. Ozzy's surviving it. I'm surprised they haven't tried the front door sinker again. Oh, he's got Ozzy super in swing mode here. He swung at every pitch now, like 4 or 5 in a row. Cutter again, fouled off, and then I think he's probably going to get him out. Yeah. Just get it way up high. He's swinging at everything. Yep, see you later. Attaboy. Finally gets one high enough. Good pitch there. So 2 outs, and here is Matt Olson. Four-seam up ball. Your dad used to umpire my high school games at Parade Grounds. Went to Brooklyn Millennium. That's awesome. Appreciate that. John Ottavino, the greatest umpire in all the land. See, this is why I would sit on the sweeper, because to me, this is the more hittable of the two. If you're a left-handed batter and you're going to hunt a breaking ball, you want to get the sweeper. It's pretty flat across the zone. All you have to do is look for it to start medium height and off the plate away. You know it's going to come back into you. So that would be my choice. Obviously, Olson's taken all the way here. 2-1. 97 coming in here. Oof, great location there. Beats him to the spot. Good pitch there, and now curveball off of that.
Beaten on the ground to second base. Nothing comes of that leadoff error.
Rolls over the curveball to second. On to the 6th. Here is Money Mike. Sinker down strike. Man, he really did dial it in probably from the 3rd inning on. Yep, there's the changeup. He should stick with the changeup. Not gonna go curveball. Gets him to swing off the plate. Again, with Money Mike, as good as he is, you treat him like PCA or like Javi Baez. You throw strike one, and then you throw all balls, and you try to get him to swing at those. That worked there. All right, Dubon. 97. Dot to the corner. 93 off that line. Could get him off the end of the bat. Ooh, gets him right off the end of the bat. This time Vientos, no problem with that one. Little flip over to Nolan. 2 outs there. And that brings up Dom Smith. Backdoor sweeper strike, even though that's generous. 4-seam down strike. Good pitch there. Curveball on the plate would be the pitch here. Doesn't get the hand out front. Can try it again. That was a good one. That's a great take by Dom Smith, though. Automatic pitch timer ball, and then 3-2 curveball. Called strike after the challenge. That's definitely in there. So he finishes the 6th inning with a beautiful backdoor top shelf curveball to Dom. And he's rolling. 7th inning, he's only going to get 1 batter, Austin Riley. Sinker strike. Cutter off of that. Fouled off his leg, so he's in the driver's seat here. Here comes a vicious sweeper. Too high. Sweeper again. Riley's actually going to get a hit. Man, nobody catches this, huh? Beatty and Bench can't get to that. And Riley gets a little blue pit. He could have used that one. He needed that one. But anyway, I don't know. My takeaways from McLean in this game: did a better job landing breaking balls for strikes. Actually threw a few changeups. That usage has been way down. Changeup usage. But I think it's a good pitch. He should loop it back in. I think he might be dealing with a little bit of a finger issue, which might be something that you're seeing through his struggles a little bit that goes undetected, something that's not really overly reported, but might have been a real thing. Maybe the changeup when he was doing his kick change might have really hurt him. So that's a possibility. But yeah, we're about midway through his real first full season. So a lot of questions to be asked here in the second half of McLean. But I think he's doing a great job. I think this guy's a big winner overall for the Mets. He's one of the pieces that's been just fantastic to watch over the past few years. I want to see his changeup usage by game this season. Yeah, so he's definitely dialed it back in recent times. Yeah, 10% usage on this start here, May 31st. Then he went down to 1%, 4.3, 5.9, then a 1% again that last game, and then up to 6.3. So it's been a little bit lower. He's had a couple starts where it bounced up, but certainly less than where he was to start off the year, where they had it as a big part of the strategy. So we'll keep monitoring that a little bit as we watch him move forward. I think it's a good pitch. I think he should throw it. I'm wondering if there's something with his finger that's bugging him a little bit. All right, let me get in here in the chat. My dad used to check for jewelry before every game. Didn't let guys wear any necklaces, which I appreciate. Whatever the rules are, you know? Whatever the rules are, my dad's going to be a stickler for those. No doubt about that. Yeah, he's now the ump of BNC. He's like Batman. And I'm not coming for you specifically, Spectre, about the cheating stuff. I'm just telling you it was more widespread. And the Astros get all the brunt of the blame. And I think that they deserve a lot of blame. They were the overall biggest benefactors. But I just saying this was going on. Have you ever pitched with yourself at MLB The Show? Your cards are always amazing. So what's funny is I had my real 99 card, and I used to get blasted with that card. So that was depressing. But yeah, I used to pitch. I mean, last year in spring training, before I was cut with the Red Sox, like before I knew I was going to pitch, I would pitch with myself a little bit just to remind myself of how I wanted to go about it and just like get in the rhythm of like pitching your game. But I never really grinded hard on the show. I don't have enough time. I got 3 kids and that game's hard. People online are nasty. You guys that play the game, you guys can really play that game. Are you enjoying being a part of media and live games? Yes, I like doing the games a lot, much more than I like doing the studio. It's been really fun. It's been really fun. I'm in a summer league and my 4-seam is getting hit. Slider and slurve as secondaries. Should I go to the 2-seam? Why not? Why not? Grab it with the 2 seams and let it rip and see if you get any better results with that. So I'm going to do Hunter Greene next because he just came back off the IL. We have to see how he looks. Logan Gilbert if I feel like I have time after that. What were your thoughts on the All-Star rosters? So we just named my All-Star rosters that I wanted to see or thought would be our predictions the other day, and we really only got a few wrong. Wilson Contreras being snubbed, a couple others, but for the most part, we were pretty close. So I think it was pretty good. Oh, change-up usage scouting report for McLean. I mean, it could be part of that, but it's weird to go from it being a huge part of your game to less and less over time. So something's up, whether it's confidence in the pitch or something with your hand, not sure. Can you elaborate more on what teams players do to determine an optimal pitch mix for a pitcher? So it all starts with your best pitch. For me, like, you always have to understand what your best pitch is, what your primary pitch needs to be. And that looks a little bit different for everybody else. And, in the old days, everybody would say fastball is your primary pitch, but that's not reality anymore. Like Mason Miller's primary pitch is slider. My primary pitch was slider. Edwin Diaz, for a lot of his career, parts of his career, have been slider. Those are all relievers, but you see it sometimes with starters as well. Like we've seen Logan Webb's primary pitch be changeup, right? So you start with your primary pitch. That should be a pitch that if you throw this pitch right down the middle to any pitcher in the league, should give you your best possible result. And then from there, you start filling in around that. Okay, what's the best contrast to that? What else can I throw off of my primary pitch that tunnels really well? So say your primary pitch is a four-seam fastball. Usually you're going to pair that with something that can come off of the high lane and be effective. So a curveball. So a lot of times like Tyler Glasnow, four-seam fastball at the top, that's going to pair well with a curveball that comes off that lane and drops all the way down through the strike zone. Or you have a four-seam fastball with a downhill plane on it, like a Chase Burns or a Trey Savage. Well, maybe a slider or a splitter off that, because pitches that are trending down, you want something else that hangs on that line and then deviates late. Think DeGrom as well in this category. So really anything can tunnel, not anything, but a lot of things can tunnel off of a four-seam fastball if that's your primary. But if your primary is something like a changeup or a splitter like Yamamoto or Webb, now you're thinking about how to build your arsenal around the bottom of the zone with some surprise to the top of the zone. So it all really kind of depends. And then it also depends on what type of shapes you can create given your arm angle and your pronation, where you fall on the pronation versus supination bias. Not every pitcher is going to be able to create every shape based on how their hand comes through and their arm angle and all that sort of stuff too. So all that gets boiled in to the thought process, and you just start checking boxes one by one. And then as you go throughout your career, you kind of see how your results are and what you need to add, what you need to take away, what you need to lean harder into. And you're constantly figuring that out as you go. Ultimately, you'd like to have a plan A and a plan B for both righties and versus lefties. Whether you're a lefty or righty, you need to have a plan A and plan B versus both side hitters. And once that plan craters, then you go ahead and pivot. But for the most part, you build everything around your primary pitch. Try to add as many wrinkles as you can that make sense, and you understand what your game plan is versus both sided hitters. Hey, bub. You want to play with your monster truck?
Yeah.
The one in the rent, you like the one with the control?
Yeah.
Okay, can you give me 10 minutes?
No.
And then I come? Just need 10 more minutes, Bubba. Yep, we looked at Walbert Urena use recently, but I'm going to use the restroom for one moment, and then when I come back, we'll do Hunter Greene, and that'll be it for today, I think, because my son needs me, so that's how it goes. All right, I'm going to throw on the loading screen for a second, and then I'll be right back. All right. I'm going to try to rock this thing because I got some dadding to do. All right. Hunter Greene made his return for the Reds, and it did not go very well, I guess. 21.6 ERA in his first start, so 3 1/3, 7 strikeouts. Who was this against? This was just now versus the Orioles on Saturday. 3 1/3, 7 hits, 8 earned runs, a home run, 4 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Okay, let's see what the pitch mix was. He tends to be awfully two-pitch as well, similar to Chase Burns, but obviously a different angle and stuff. We all know about his velocity and what he can do. So the player breakdown on Hunter Greene from his first game back. 47 four-seamers, average 99. So velo's good. 40% slider, 36 sliders. Got 58% whip. So the slider was still there. Threw 4 sinkers and 2 splitters. 2-pitch pitchers seem to be... You know, the Reds are a little bit behind on having bigger pitch mixes. Abbott hasn't gone to the 2 fastballs. Hunter Greene and Chase Burns are kind of 2-pitch guys to some extent. So, I don't know. Interesting that the Reds are doing things a little bit differently. Anyway, this was Orioles-Reds on the 4th. And this will be our last thing today. Sorry, guys. We'll have another show tomorrow. All right, Orioles and Cincinnati Reds. This should be a quick look at Hunter Greene because he doesn't last that long. Wow, 89 pitches, though. All right, I'm just going to do the speed watch. First pitch of the game, 100.3 miles an hour. So announce his presence with authority throwing 100, and then it gets banged right up the box by Gunnar Henderson at 108. So... welcome back to the show. Hunter Greene, base hit. Gunnar Henderson. Next up is Adley. He's going to get his first strikeout back on a slider, bottom of the zone. Demolishes him. Actually, let's watch all 4 of these pitches. 4-seam up ball. So no problem physically, obviously. Throwing 100.
Unveil a 2-seam fastball. It's something.
So it's just 3 fastballs and then a slider. 3 fastballs at 100 and then a disappearing slider below the barrel of Adley. This is nasty. All right, next up, it's going to be a 1-pitch out to Ward, Taylor Ward. Fastball up. That played nicely. Got underneath that. Can of corn fly out to right. And then a nice long at-bat by Pete Alonso is going to result in a walk. So great at-bat by Pete. Grinds Hunter Greene for 9-pitch walk. And then we got in-play runs to Basayo. Another 3-2 count. Oh, and then Sammy Basayo is going to clip him for the home run. Let's watch this whole at-bat. Basayo is one of my favorite young hitters. I've been saying, give me all the Basayo stock that you're willing to sell me. I love his swing. I love his size. I don't know if he has a real position or not, but I think this guy's a monster at the plate. All right, so fastball in, ball, slider down, swings over the top, fastball down, ball, 2-1 count, slider again, swing and miss again. So you'd think he would stick with the slider, but no. So a little bit of a poor reading here. Fastball when he was nowhere near the slider. And then Basayo, I mean, this is impressive. This is a fastball in, almost to the corner at 100.4, and he beats it to the spot for a home run. So I don't see anything wrong with Greene yet. It's just that that was a poor pitch choice and a great swing by Samuel Basayo. This guy's a monster. Damn, that was nasty. That was nasty. All right, here's a 3-pitch strikeout of Cowser. So at least looks like the slider was in midseason form, maybe not the heater here early going. So 3-run first inning. Here is the second inning. First pitch out on a fastball to Taveras. Ellie De La Cruz on the wrong side of the bag, guns him out. Now we got a walk to Jackson Holiday. Maybe a little bit fastball command being a little off, a little jumpy in his first start. Another strikeout on a slider. So yeah, it looks like if he would have spammed sliders and used his fastball as a secondary, he might have had better results. There's a fastball up top to strike out Gunnar. So a much better second inning. Third inning. Rushman's going to get a hit on a slider. That was a poor location, up and away. Just sticks the bat out, flicks it off the wall there at Great American Small Park for a leadoff double. Called strike 3 on a slider here. Right on the black. That was nasty. Hey, baby. Oh, man, you look awesome.
Daddy, let's go outside.
I'm going outside with you in like 3 minutes. I just got to finish up this last watching here. Ooh, Pete staying inside a fastball. Rushman thrown out at the plate. Good swing by Pete here. This is a good pitch, but also a good swing, allowing himself to be jammed, but spraying it the other way. Then a 3-pitch strikeout of Basayo. This time he goes to the slider. Wonder if it was all sliders. I bet he threw them all sliders second time through. Slider down, swing and miss. Yeah, 3 sliders. So made that mistake that first at bat. Wasn't going to do it the second time. Slider, slider, slider. Good adjustment here by Hunter. Sliders in midseason form. All right, 4th inning. This one went really bad. Starts with Cowser. Hit on a fastball. Middle, 98. Little looper into right. Base hit. Now a walk to Tavares. So yeah, I think it's a lack of fastball command. 3-2 slider, so another walk to Holiday. Good take there. Bases loaded. In-play runs coming here. Blaze Alexander. Ooh, great swing. Stayed on a slider away. Went the other way with it. Base hit. It's always tough to come back into play in July. Hitters are a little bit more in midseason form. Any little bit of lack of command is going to really hurt you. This ends up being a strike. Perfect pitch. So I think maybe that was a little bit of what it was. Came out firing bullets. Showed a really good slider early. Second time through, the Orioles hitters, second and third time through, the Orioles hitters did a better job adjusting to that pitch. But I think he had a little bit of a lack of fastball command, and overall just didn't really dictate the at-bats the way he normally does. This is a good swing here by Gunnar, though. I mean, by Adley. Man, look at that. Nice swing. And that's it. That spelled the end of the day for Hunter Greene. So whatever. It's the first game. Not a big deal. He checked all the main boxes. Got a lot of swing and misses on his slider. Threw 100 miles an hour quite a bit. So I'm sure he'll be fine. It might be too little too late for the Reds at this point. But I don't think any red flags necessarily looking at that. So that's pretty good. All right. One quick run through the chat. Then we do probables and we're out of here. Quick question here about the Yankees. Hope I haven't missed it yet. What do you think about the Yanks in your eyes, and why are they falling short in last week's? Well, for number one, obviously no Judge in the lineup changes everything, even Stanton as well. Rice is going through it, not swinging the bat very well. So at the moment, they need people to step up, but their lineup length is really poor right now. Bottom of the order is a disaster. They're getting no production out of the bottom of the order. So they're missing their aircraft carrier in the middle, Judge. They don't have the length in their lineup that they're accustomed to have when they're playing well. Bellinger's been okay, not great as of late. Rice has been struggling. And the bottom of the order is a disaster. On top of that, this is the first time all year that the starting pitching's been mid. I mean, Schlittler just came off his worst start of the year. Will Warren's been spinning his tires. Weathers has been spinning his tires. Garrett's been spinning his tires. So, like, that's the strength of the team, the starting pitching. They've been mid. Bullpen, same kind of thing. A couple games they had winnable games. They have not pitched well. So it's a total team effort to lose and play this poorly as of late. I think mentally they went into that Red Sox series feeling a little bit too secure, and they got it absolutely shoved up there, by the Red Sox starters. So I think that was the beginning of it, and they don't have enough firepower right now to outslug teams, so they have to play some low-scoring games. They're just not equipped for it right now. Now, all that being said, that can completely flip around, but hasn't yet. So that's my start on the Yankees. It's just a total failure all across the board at the moment, and they're not playing inspired baseball. And that's how it goes. All right, like and subscribe. Yep, great stream today. Don't forget to throw me some likes on YouTube. If you're on TikTok, please come over to YouTube and subscribe. We're trying to get to 11,000 subs in the next couple days. We're pretty close, so I'd appreciate your subscription. It's free, and shouldn't be too much to ask to just go ahead and hit that thumbs up button on the YouTube page. All right, here are our probables for today, and then I'll say goodbye and I'll see you tomorrow. Phillies, Royals, Sanchez and Noah Cameron. Yankees, Rays in a big series. Schlittler, Griffin, Jacks. This is it. I'm finishing right now. Astros, Nationals, Burrows, Michaelis. Mets, Braves, Peralta, Lopez. Brewers, Cardinals, Drowan, May. Diamondbacks, Padres, Fott and Bueller. Jays, Jays, Giants, Gosman, Roop. Rockies, Giants, Freeland, Lauer. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. I'll be back on tomorrow. This was a fun stream, and I will see you guys Tuesday morning. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow for more. All right. Have a good one. See you guys later. Bye-bye.